Hi guys, if you haven't seen my videos before, my name is Cam and welcome to AskMeI'mBipolar.com. So today is World Suicide Prevention Day 2016 and I thought I'd make a video and talk about my experience with suicide and suicidal thoughts. The World Health Organization estimates that over 800,000 people die by suicide each year. That's like one person every 40 seconds. And up to 25 times more attempt suicide. For me personally, this is something I've never really talked about publicly. To be fair, I've only really talked about it with one or two very close friends. So the rest of this video, I suppose, is a little bit like a confession. I've physically attempted to kill myself 3 times in my life thus far. And I couldn't count the amount of times I've thought about it. It was all over 10 years ago, and at the time I was undiagnosed with bipolar and I was struggling. I was just really struggling to cope with life. Wanting to kill yourself is what happens when you feel like you have no other choice, no way out, no way forward. I know what it's like to feel like the world is just a nightmare that you've got to survive. When it feels like everyone, the people you love, the people you care about, would actually be better off if you weren't there. I know a lot of people throw around phrases like, oh, it's just attention seeking. But you know what? That really annoys me. It trivializes everything that I have felt, everything that other people feel. It's not just a game. It's not something that just, people don't just go through things and go, oh yeah, you know what? I think I'll just I'll just kill myself today and see if somebody notices. It's not like that. When you go to kill yourself, when you really want to kill yourself, that's it. You want to be dead. You're not trying to make a statement. You're not trying to make some kind of elaborate cry for help. You want to die. I wanted to die. With bipolar, both depression and mania can take you to a place that's so overwhelming that you can't handle it. You literally can't handle it. You can't take any more. Have a look at my videos on what depression feels like and what mania feels like if you want to know more about the two kinds of episodes. But what I want to tell you is it was the only way at the time, the only way that I truly believed that I could stop feeling what I was feeling. And I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take those feelings anymore. Overwhelming doesn't even cover it. The word is not big enough to describe what was going on inside my head, inside my body. You know, depression, bipolar, all these mental health problems, they're monsters. They're monsters inside our heads that lie to us. When I wanted to kill myself, when I tried to kill myself, I wasn't thinking clearly. I wasn't me as you see me now talking to you on this video. I believed the monsters when they were whispering in my head, when they were telling me, everyone's going to be better off without you. It wasn't even a case of, just kill yourself and then all this pain will be over. It was these people around you, these people that you love, will actually be better off if you're not there. And why would I argue with those monsters? I didn't know any better. I didn't even know I had a mental health problem at the time. Sometimes you get to a point where the walls have closed in so far that there is no getting out. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. Basically, there is no hope. I thought I was a terrible person. I thought I was the scourge of the earth, to put it dramatically. I thought I was a burden to everyone around me and that I had no purpose, no reason, and my presence on this earth was causing other people pain. And even the pain that I was going through, I wanted that to end. But even more than that, I didn't want to be causing other people pain. The other thing that people say is that it's selfish. Now, I personally don't believe that suicide takes away the pain. I think it passes the pain on to someone else. But when I was in that moment, when I was there, when I wanted the pain to stop, when I wanted it all to go away, when I couldn't see any way out of it, yeah, of course I thought about the people that I love. Of course I thought about how it would hurt them. It absolutely broke my heart. But in my head, the mental health, illness, whatever you want to call it, the monsters, they were telling me that everyone would be better off without me there. And to me, I was doing the right thing. I was doing what I thought would help them, as well as help me get rid of the pain. There's only so much people can take. If you think about physical pain, you know, your body can take so much and then you pass out. It's the same with mental pain. You take so much and then you want that passing out, you want that blackout, you want that pain to be gone. But the only way to do that is to die. I mean, you know, you can knock yourself out, but you're only going to wake up and feel the pain again. So the only true way to get rid of it is to kill yourself. So, I want to tell you guys a story. Now, I've told you already that I tried to kill myself 3 times. And obviously, by me being here on this video, I failed 3 times. I didn't fail because I stopped. I didn't fail because I didn't plan properly. And I didn't fail because I changed my mind. I'm going to tell you about one of these times, and this time I'm going to talk about is when I used rope to try and kill myself. I bought brand new rope. It was the right strength. It was the right length. I tied it securely. I'm good with knots. I knew exactly what I was doing. And yet somehow, I still, to this day, do not understand this. It broke. Aside from those 3 failed attempts, there's one other thing I want to tell you about. It was back in 2005 when I used to live in Sydney, Australia. I'd spent weeks crying, trying to work out what the hell to do. I didn't know how to get rid of the aching emptiness inside me, the pain, the physical pain that people don't tell you about when you're depressed. I was obviously in the middle of a depressive episode, but I didn't know I was bipolar, so I didn't know it was a depressive episode. And I didn't know what to do. I couldn't take anymore. So one day I just decided that was it. And I was going to do it, finally. I was going to do it. I know I'd attempted it 3 times in my teen years, in my later teen years, early 20s, but I decided at that point that was it. I was going to do it. I'd never felt so calm. The minute I'd made that decision in my head, and this had been the same with the 3 failed attempts, the minute I had decided that that is what I was going to do, I was going to die, I was just flooded with calm. It was like, all of a sudden, there was an end to the pain and to the feelings that I had inside that overwhelmed me so much that I couldn't handle. There was now that light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, because I'd made that choice. I'd made that decision to die. So I went up to the top of one of the high-rise buildings in the city centre. It was the one I was living in fact. And I remember walking over to the edge and looking down. I was really calm at this point, so it wasn't like it was frenzied or, I don't know, quick or anything. I remember the bricks on the wall. In fact, I even remember exactly where the air conditioning vent was on the side of the building. I remember exactly what, if I could draw, I would be able to draw it for you, like, perfectly. I remember looking around and making sure that if I was going to jump, well, it wasn't an if at this point, I'd decided I was going to jump. I was looking around to make sure that I wasn't going to land on anything important, that I wasn't going to hurt anybody else in the process and land on somebody, for example. I was just working out the finalities, I guess. And I considered all this and I decided that it was time and nobody else was going to get hurt in this process. I walked to the edge of the building, and I was about to, I guess, step off. I took a deep breath. I distinctly remember the deep breath that I took, in through the nose, out through the mouth, like a meditative, almost, deep breath. And at that moment, my phone rang. Now, I'd completely forgotten that my phone was in my pocket. I hadn't even considered this. And the noise completely confused me. So for a second there, I was like almost dazed. I was like, what the hell's going on? What's that really loud noise? And I realised what it was, and I took my phone out of my pocket just to see, and it was my best friend calling me. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to ignore it, to answer it, to throw it over the side of the building. I don't know. And in that moment, I lost my courage. So I answered the phone. And I burst into tears the minute I answered the phone. And my best friend asked me what was going on. She said she'd had a feeling that something wasn't right and that she'd needed to call me. And if she hadn't, I wouldn't be here today. I'm telling you this story for a reason. 3 times I tried to kill myself, and 3 times I failed. One time I got very close to it, and I got called at the last minute, and I didn't do it. I'm not a particularly religious person. I do believe in the universe, I do believe in energy and power. But I think that's a massive sign to say that I needed to be alive. I don't know whether that was to be alive to be in some kind of eternal punishment and agony, or whether it was to be alive to do something with my life. But I just knew from that point onwards that I was supposed to be alive. That there was a reason for my existence. Who knows? Maybe I'm alive so I can make these videos, and someone somewhere will watch this and realise that they're not the only person that feels that way. That they're not the first and they're not the last. That there are a lot of people who try to commit suicide, want to commit suicide, or get to a point where they don't see any other option. I've felt that pain. I've felt that despair, and I know what it's like when that monster is telling you that you have nothing left, that you are a negative impact on this world, and that you should just do the right thing and die. Now, I'm not going to pretend to you that I never thought of suicide again after that moment. Of course I did. Countless times, in fact. So many times that I even have a habit now of whenever time I'm driving, I call my best friend and we talk if it's a long journey, because the amount of times in the past where I've been driving and I've just thought, I wonder what'll happen if I take my hands off this wheel and close my eyes. And I recognise that kind of behaviour now as someone who is diagnosed with bipolar, who understands my condition and works to optimise my life with the condition. But back then, I didn't have a clue. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be the key to freedom is knowing your enemy. What I mean by that is, if you know you have a mental health problem, you can deal with it. It's the same with anything in life. Once you know about something, you can process it, you can work with it, you can deal with it. When you don't know about it, it's overwhelming, it's scary, it's unknown. Once you know you're at a point where you can't go on, where you're feeling these feelings, you need to speak to somebody. You need to talk about it. There are forums out there, websites, hotlines, charities like Mind, things like that. You can call people. There is always someone you can get in contact with, and they will be able to help. I know it sounds ridiculous to say they will be able to help. At the time when I was there, I didn't think anyone could help me. I didn't think I deserved the help. But that was the demons in my head. That was the monsters. That was the bipolar talking. That wasn't me. Finally, I want to say something to those of you who have a loved one or a friend who tells you that they're depressed, that tells you that they're thinking of suicide or thinking of anything. Friends that self-harm, anything along those lines. One word. Listen. I know there's always that little bit in your head that goes, oh, they're doing it for attention. Oh, they're doing it for the... It doesn't matter. Listen. Everybody does things for a reason, by all means. But how far do you want it to go before you actually listen to them? You have to remember that sometimes in their head, the same way it was in my head, they think that they're a burden to you, that you don't care. Maybe it's not even that you don't care, that they don't deserve your help, that they don't deserve a chance. Only you can then turn around and say, do you know what? I'm going to help you. I'm going to be there for you, and we're going to get through this together. Again, if you need support with things like this, there's Facebook groups, websites, forums, hotlines, charities. There's always people to talk to. If somebody comes to you and tells you that they're feeling this way and you don't know what to do about it, first of all, listen, and then get support yourself if you need to. But you know what? That listening part, that could be the difference between life and death. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments at all, please put them down in the comments section below and I will try my best to reply if I can. Give us a like on Facebook and Twitter, and of course you can interact with us on social media or via the website, and I look forward to hearing from you.